Survival games have undoubtedly carved out a massive niche in the gaming world, and their popularity only continues to grow. With their intricate mechanics and diverse subgenres, survival games remain a dominant force in 2024. Today, we're spotlighting 10 new and upcoming survival games for 2024. Let's kick things off with number 10, Terminator Survivors. This concept seems like a perfect fit for a survival game, especially since many IPs are venturing into this genre. Humanity is emerging from the rubble, trying to understand and navigate a new world ruled by machines. In this game, you can play alone or cooperatively with others, surviving, fighting machines, scrounging for resources, building bases, defending them, and engaging in typical survival game activities, all within the Terminator universe. It's being published by Nacon, a company known for releasing a wide variety of games with varying levels of quality. So far, all we have are some impressive-looking screenshots and a flashy cinematic pre-rendered trailer that doesn't show actual gameplay. Despite the limited information, the concept itself is compelling. If executed well, the idea of building bases and fighting back against Skynet's machines could be very exciting. We're hoping to learn more about this game soon. As of now, it has a release date set for October 24th, 2024. Next up at number 9, if you enjoy survival games but lean more towards adventure RPGs, Enshrouded might be the perfect hybrid for you. Imagine a vast voxel-based world where you create your own character, develop your class, and engage in RPG systems. You can team up with other players to build, forage, survive, and explore this world, complete with real bosses, quests, dungeons, and classic RPG elements. Enshrouded supports up to 16 players and offers numerous ways to customize your character, cool traversal mechanics, and a dual-world concept. The main world and the more perilous Shrouded world offer deeper rewards for those brave enough to venture in. The game was released in early access in January of this year and has been gaining traction. While it still needs some work, it's one of the more ambitious titles on this list. If the features I mentioned sound appealing, consider checking out Enshrouded. It stands out with its unique blend of genres. Next at number 8, we have Rooted. This game appears to be a more traditional, boots-on-the-ground multiplayer survival game. You and your friends navigate a post-apocalyptic world, scavenging, crafting, building, and surviving in a beautifully rendered environment created with Unreal Engine 5. The visuals are stunning based on what we've seen so far. Rooted aims to deliver what The Day Before promised, but failed to achieve combining multiplayer co-op and survival elements with an aesthetic reminiscent of The Last of Us. In this game, you'll be scavenging for resources in an overgrown, post-apocalyptic city, crafting items from your backpack with a realistic, gritty approach. The building and crafting mechanics for your base look particularly impressive. You can sign up for an alpha version of the game, and it seems more legitimate and promising than projects like The Day Before, which turned out to be a scam. While Rooted doesn't have a release date yet, the alpha signups are a positive sign of progress. We'll know more once we get our hands on it, but it's certainly a project to watch. Next at number 7, we have Nightingale. This game offers a unique twist on the survival genre, featuring a distinctive aesthetic where you hop between different realms and battle massive creatures. Along with looting, crafting, and building, you'll engage in classic survival activities like gathering resources. However, what sets Nightingale apart is its gaslamp fantasy aesthetic, blending 1800s style with high fantasy elements. The game entered early access on February 20th, and while promising, it still needs some work. Currently, it's not fully living up to its potential due to balancing issues and a less exciting early game. However, the world building and aesthetic are standout features. If Inflection Games can refine the survival mechanics to be more compelling, Nightingale could become a significant hit. If you're interested in experiencing its unique style and setting, Nightingale is available in early access now. Moving on to number 6, we have State of Decay 3. The previous installment, State of Decay 2, stood out for its unique take on survival gameplay, especially with its mechanics surrounding zombies, survivors, and resources. It offered a fresh spin on the genre, earning it a dedicated fan base. Since its announcement years ago, anticipation has been high for State of Decay 3. Despite the lack of recent updates, many are eager to see what Undead Labs has been working on. There's a hope that the developers have utilized this time to create something truly exceptional, capitalizing on the series' potential. While there's still no release date, fans are hopeful that this year will finally provide a glimpse into the game's development progress. With the foundation laid by its predecessors, State of Decay 3 has the opportunity to surpass expectations and become a standout title in the genre. Moving on to number 5, we have Once Human. This multiplayer open-world survival game offers an impressive post-apocalyptic setting filled with intriguing monsters. The gameplay centers on tight, over-the-shoulder third-person shooting, a style many gamers appreciate. In Once Human, players engage in post-apocalyptic base building, crafting, and resource scavenging while facing off against formidable monsters and bosses. Alongside friends, you'll build up your base and contend with other factions in the world. The game's narrative revolves around uncovering the mystery behind the world's downfall, involving some sort of mysterious stardust from space. With its blend of shooting mechanics, base building, and exploration, Once Human promises an engaging experience. While there's still uncertainty about its quality, anticipation is high for its release in the third quarter of 2024. Moving on to number 4, we have Outward 2, the highly anticipated sequel to the challenging open-world survival RPG Outward. The original game set a high standard for survival mechanics, offering intense resource management and engaging enemy encounters, particularly when played with friends. While details about Outward 2 are still scarce, developers have been working on it for some time. Like its predecessor, it's expected to blend realism with fantasy elements, providing a rich RPG experience with deep survival mechanics. Fans of the first game can anticipate even more content and challenges to tackle in the sequel. Although a release date hasn't been announced yet, players are eager for updates on this promising title. Stay tuned for further developments as we await news on Outward 2. Moving on to number 3, we have The Alters. Describing this game is a bit of a challenge because it's truly unique. Picture a science fiction-themed, single-player, third-person adventure where you play as a lone worker stranded on a remote planet. Your primary task? Building and managing a base space station that can move around the planet, because when the sun rises, its rays are deadly. In The Alters, you'll navigate the planet's cycle, which affects the availability of resources crucial for your survival. The game introduces an intriguing mechanic involving time travel, where decisions made in the past can impact your present survival. It's a complex concept to grasp, but essentially you're creating new versions of yourself to save yourself in the present. This ambitious project comes from 11-bit Studios. With its blend of third-person base management and planetary exploration, The Alters is shaping up to be a fascinating experience that's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Moving on to number 2, we have Bellwright, offering a medieval setting with sword and shield action. In this game, you play as someone who was blackmailed for the murder of a prince, and it's your mission to leave your homeland and stage a rebellion against the oppressive ruling regime. Bellwright blends survival elements with village-building mechanics as you strengthen your settlement and assist villagers. But it's not all about construction. You'll also engage in first-person combat and participate in battles to further your cause. Although still a work in progress, Bellwright entered early access in April with mostly positive reviews on Steam. If you enjoy games like Manor Lords and appreciate top-down village-building mechanics but desire more ground-level involvement and survival elements, Bellwright might be worth considering. Moving on to number 1, we have Into the Dead: Our Darkest Days, a game that caught attention for its unique take on the zombie survival genre. Set in 1980 in a Texas town overrun by zombies, this game presents a shelter-based survival experience. In Into the Dead, you navigate a two-dimensional plane in third person, employing stealth and limited weaponry to outmaneuver zombies and gather essential resources to bring back to safety. The focus is on establishing and upgrading shelters to protect survivors. As you progress and expand settlements, the zombie outbreak intensifies, transforming previously manageable areas into more challenging environments. The game also introduces a human element, where you must navigate moral dilemmas, choosing to deceive, ally with, or even harm other survivors while managing their psychological needs. This survivor management aspect, reminiscent of State of Decay, adds depth to the gameplay. With its unique presentation and gameplay style, Into the Dead promises a fresh take on the zombie survival genre. Fans eagerly anticipate more information and updates on this intriguing title. If you enjoyed this video and want to share your thoughts on these games or suggest others we might have missed, feel free to leave a comment. Your feedback is always welcome, and it might even inspire another list or recommendations for fellow gamers. If you appreciate our content and want to support us, simply clicking the like button goes a long way. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. We release new videos every day, so you'll always have something fresh to look forward to. Thanks for watching.